152 students. I'm going to go through this Module 5, the SAM Capstone Project 1B, Word Chapters 1 through 3, because some of you have said you've had some trouble doing it. One of the things I want to point out to you is that it's going to require that you're using Microsoft Word that is not Microsoft Office that is in the cloud. So the best thing to do is use one of the college computer labs, which would have the full version of Microsoft Office installed, including all of the features in Word. Whenever you're working with Word that's installed on a local desktop, as opposed to Word that is installed, that is working only in the cloud, you'll find that there is a big difference in the menu options that appear and so forth. So you want to make sure that you make it as easy on yourself as possible. And you can get it done a lot quicker. Otherwise, you'll be looking for menu options and so forth that don't even exist, and as you follow the instructions. So what I'm going to do, first of all, is click on this, and remember that if you wouldn't be able to do this project if you don't have Cengage MindTap or Cengage Unlimited. That's, although I do have it open so that you could do this anytime before, I think, December the 4th. So I'm going to open this up. And while this is opening up this particular project, I want to mention the fact that this is not one of those things that you can, or a file, when you download this file, it actually has a header within it that keeps track of your information about who has done it, or who downloaded the file, who did the work in the file, and things like that. So you can't really share it, with your classmate. You have to upload it in Cengage Unlimited to be able to have it graded. And so therefore, whenever you upload it there, it reads the document header that you don't know that is there. And what will happen is it would detect if someone else did the work in that document. They actually have it such that even if they're doing the work in the document somewhere, like if you found a copy of it, where someone downloaded and made available on some website like Quizlet or Course Hero, and you try to submit it as your own, it would detect that. So what you'll see is that it comes into letting you know that if you have the correct version of Microsoft Office installed, and you can hit check here, and it will tell you that you need to have this. So it's just warning you about one or more problems with the file if you don't. But I've already told you if you do this in the labs, Nova's Labs, you'd be best off, and find it easier to do because some of the features you won't even see otherwise. So I'm going to click on Start. And then we can see we have three different files. We've got a starting file, and we have an instruction file, and then we have support files. And as far as this is concerned, these files, this assignment is set up to allow you to do it multiple times. And as an example, what I'm seeing now is I've got the instructions, and then I see that it has my name. So it knows my name from my Cengage account. And then it has a supporting file right here. So I'm going to hit Download All. And then the instruction file, the instructions for what you're supposed to do is actually listed here in the instructions file. And then the starting file that has the file to start with is here. And then somewhere along the way, they're going to have us use this supporting file. So you'll notice as I go to my downloads directory, which I'm going to do right now, and you just bear with me a second. So here in my downloads directory, you can see that I have these three files that are available. And I actually have already printed out the instructions for it, but if I double click on it, you can see they're going to open up in Word. And occasionally I'm going to go back and forth between the instructions as I do this project to see if we can get things as correct as we can possibly do. And it's fine to leave those in your downloads directory. If you want to save those, you can save the instructions in a different folder. As an example, I have a Fall 2022 folder on my iCloud drive that I put all of my things related to this class. And so I'm just going to save it right there. And then it tells me what should I do with the file. First of all, the first instruction is to bring up this file And of course, where you see first name, last name, it's going to pick up whatever your username is inside of Cengage Mind tab. So I'm going to open the file up, and you can see it's got my username there. Yours obviously is different. And then I'm going to hit Enable Editing here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a File Save As and read the instructions. And it basically says that when we save this, we're going to change this 1 to a 2. Okay, fair enough. So I'm coming into the file. I'm going to do File, Save As. I'm going to browse. I'm going to pop this into my directory that I keep my 152 stuff in. And then I'm going to change that 1 at the tail end to a 2. And this would allow you to, if something goes wrong along the way and you can't get it right, write it up, then you can always open up the original one and start over. Not that that's good news for anybody here, but you could. So I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to kind of take a look at the file. Now, the next instruction that we have is that so we can see we have this, and then, okay, they mentioned the fact that we've got the supporting document there, and it says that with the file SC, your name still open, ensure that your first name and last name is displayed in the footer. The footer does not display your name. Delete the file and download a new copy. So let me go in and see if my name is in the footer. And I'm going to kind of scroll down, and you can see it will say this file created specifically for, and then it's got my name. Now, if you're thinking, oh, I can just put anybody's name in there I want to, and that's how I'm going to bypass all of those, document header information that they keep on who downloaded the document. I can tell you, you can't see that stuff that is tracking who downloaded this document. That's not the only thing that it doesn't even, that's for you, to see, but that's not what it looks like in order to be able. There are things that go on behind the scenes that you don't see in a document header. So the next thing that we're going to take a look at is we saw our footer was in there, and of course if you didn't see your name within the footer, then you would delete the file and download a new copy from Cengage. Now, project steps. You are a human resources associate for K&L Insurance, a major insurance company located in Nashville, Tennessee, and are completing a company report on remote work. On page 1, change the case of the remote work title to capitalize each word to soften the tone of the title. So what they're talking about when we take a look at remote, capitalize each word, that is actually a function where we could do it one way or the other, but there's more than one way of doing anything. But I'm going to go down here and I'm going to take a look at it, and you can see that we have remote work that's all in caps. So one of the things you could do is just retype it. But if you're using Microsoft Word, then it has a feature where you have this uppercase, lowercase that is on your home menu bar. If you click on home, then look for this uppercase and lowercase, and then just choose select it. So let me just say I've selected it with my mouse, and sometimes when I select something, I actually go from the rear to the left as opposed to here, and then because sometimes when you go from the left over, it actually selects more than you want. So I'm just going to go backwards because it would stop at this. And at any rate, I'm going to go to capitalize each word, use that feature to do it that way. And that's quicker than it would be to retype it. Now, the next thing that we want to do is change the theme colors to violet to coordinate with the company logo. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go to, it's either under layout or it's under design. It's under design. Okay, so here under design, we see that we have all kinds of different, like what we would call styles. We've got colors, we've got fonts, paragraph spacing, different effects, watermarks, and so forth. But themes are over here on the far left. And depending on which version of Microsoft Office you have, then hopefully you're going to have violet. But of course, I don't. So we can see that I don't have violet. I'm not sure if I were using the lab if I would have that or not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do browse for themes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in here violet. and see if it can find that. Just a second there to check and see about the themes. And what you can see here, these are the theme names. And actually what it's asking for in the instructions are the theme colors. And so instead of looking, so each one of these themes, you can choose a theme. But when we're looking at theme colors, then the color for whatever theme you have, you can set over here. So I'm going to go over here, colors, and then I'm going to look for the one that says violet, and then I'm going to choose that. So that's what we want to do for that particular instruction, is actually just get the color, keep the theme we have, but use the color that is violet. Okay, now moving on. So we're going to add a shape to fill the blank space on the cover page as follows. So the first thing it says is, near the bottom of page 1, insert a rectangle from the rectangle section in the shapes gallery. Okay, so let's take a look at it first of all to aim what we're talking about. If we look at this, we can see that there is between remote work and this purple bar down here, a rectangle, a blank space. And that's what they're talking about when they say about the blank space. So what we're going to do is go to Insert, and then we're going to look at Shapes, and then we're going to look at Rectangle, and we're going to draw us a rectangle. Now, I'm going to try to get it over this blank space best as I can, but usually I have to adjust the size afterwards. So it's pretty close. I'm kind of lining it up like this, but then I'm going to refer back to my instructions to see how big. So it says that when we insert the rectangle, then we want to set it to a height of 0.5 and a width of 6.5. So I'm going back here, and remember, we went into Insert, we went into Shapes, we chose the first rectangle, and then we drew one in this area. But now that we have it drawn, then I can click on it, and you want to click dead center in it. Notice how these little circles are always around it and are all the way around it. And I'm going to click on Shape Format. Okay, so on Shape Format, it allows me to set the height, and I already had it set at 0.5. That was pretty good, but I'm a little bit off on the width. So the width I'm going to put in here 6.5, like that. And then what I'm going to do is kind of click to the side here. And you'll notice I need to sort of scoot it over. So I just kind of clicked and I drug it. And that's in pretty good shape as far as accuracy now. You know, it's about as good as it's going to get. So I'm going to go then and I'm going to take a look at the next thing. So the next instruction is apply the subtle effect shape style to the rectangle. Okay, subtle effect lavender accent 2. Subtle effect at lavender accent 2. Okay, and they call that shape style. Okay, so we're going to take a look. First of all, click on it. You don't want to click on any of the others. This is your way of saying I want to work with this shape. And then the shape styles are here. And then as you hover your mouse over them, they actually have different theme names come up. And they're probably in alphabetical order, but I couldn't swear to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down, and now we see that we have a subtle effect lavender accent 1. So these are probably, a lot of these are subtle. Okay, and I got to go back and see which one was we're supposed to get. Accent 2. Okay, so let me go back here, click on it, go here, and then subtle effect lavender accent 2. I believe I got that. Okay, so now it's a lavender, you know, not the same color as top, but sort of something in between. Fair enough. Now we want to remove the outline from the rectangle. So automatically, apparently, Word puts an outline around the rectangle. Let's go back to it and see. You probably can just barely see it. It's sort of a black line that's going on the back around it. And so what I'm going to do is go to Shape Outline, and I'm going to say No Outline. So click on it first. Click on the blue rectangle you just drew. Go to Shape Outline. Choose No Outline. Now let's go back to our instructions. Drag the rectangle so its top edge is aligned with the bottom edge of remote work blue and its bottom edge is aligned with the top of the purple rectangle containing the 3 circular icons. So this is what it's supposed to look like at this point. And as I take a look at mine, it's in pretty good shape. But you would want to make sure that you've got it as close to being seamless, as though you can't tell where the border is, on the right in a seamless way and on the left in a seamless way. Now I'm going to go back to our instructions. On page 2, we want to format the heading paragraph introduction as follows to set it apart. So, a 22-point font size, fill lavender accent color 1 shadow. Okay, let's go back then to it. So we are applying this for the paragraph that says introduction. So let me see if I can find the paragraph that says introduction. And it's the heading paragraph, not the whole thing. So we want to grab up the heading paragraph. And we're going to apply a 22-point font size. So if you see this little bar come up, that's great if you've got it. But if you don't have it, you could just come up here and you can set it to 22 like so. And then we want to do a fill. So for a fill for a paragraph, we would go, there's a couple of places we can do this. If we right click on it, I imagine that we would be able to get to it right there under paragraph, so to speak. But there's probably more stuff here under line and page break. I don't see it really coming up right there. So here's how we can do it with our bucket. So this is shading. And I'm going to come down here. And I want to do lavender, accent 1, as soon as I find it, shadow text effect. So here's lavender, accent 1. And then let's look at some of these text effects that would be relevant to this before I move on. Oh, okay, so it's not that. What they're talking about actually is for the font itself, which I'm not really very clear about, and I can see how somebody would get that exactly, wrong. So let's see about some of this stuff here. What do we see? So when we're working with a font, if you're not trying to draw a box around it or something like that, then that's exactly what they want us to do is look at the font itself, and we can see these different things. And so here, what we can look for is lavender accent 1 shadow text. So you find these text effects here under that letter that you see that has an A that's white with like blue surrounding it. And as I hover my mouse over them, then they have names. And the one that we're looking for is lavender accent 1 shadow. So this is it. And then it looks like that. Okay. Now we want to go down to the next instruction. So we were able to get this one done. Now we're going to illustrate the contents of the report. So they're looking in the blank paragraph in the introduction section. Insert a basic matrix smart art from the matrix section in the smart art gallery. And then enter the following text in the shapes: upper left shape, status; upper right shape, statistics; lower left shape, benefits; lower right shape, challenges. Our first job is to find the blank paragraph, and then we'll work with the smart art. So let me go back to the document, and to find a blank paragraph, we're going to use show paragraphs. Now we've done that in class when we were working on the research paper example. I'm just going to click this, and then this helps me to see where I have paragraph marks, and this helps me to see that I have a blank paragraph right here. And so what I want to do is I'm going to go to insert first of all, and then I see smart art. And so when we go into smart art, then it has all these different categories, and we want to go to matrix. And then what we want to do is choose the one that is labeled Basic Matrix. So I'm clicking here. And then what I'm going to do is click on OK. And it comes up then, and of course it adjusts to the theme of the color theme that we have. And what they want us to do, first of all, in the upper left shape, which is this one, and I'm just going to click here under text. And I'm going to type in the word status. Then here I'm going to click, and I'm going to type in statistics. Then I'm going to click here and type in benefits. Then I'm going to click here and type in challenges. Okay, now I'm going to go back and look at my instructions. So we got status, statistics, benefits, challenges. Good. And then they want us to format it. So we're going to change the Smart Art colors to something called Gradient Range Accent 1, and then the Smart Art style to Moderate Effect. All right, let's go take a look at it. Anytime you want to work with something, you have to select it. And we're working with our Smart Art graphic, and I can actually just click on this, take that away now. Don't have to leave that up. But our instructions are that we would change the colors. So let's look at change colors. And then what we'll see is that we have different ones to choose from. And they want gradient accent 1. So let's see if we get one that says that. So this third one over says Gradient Range Accent 1. So I want to click on that. And then the Smart Art style to a moderate effect. Okay, so here's the Smart Art styles. So let's just click there. And we're going to look and see what they say. So as I hover my mouse over them, moderate effect, that's the one we want. Let's click on that. Now let's go back to our instructions again. So we've made it this far. Now, provide more detailed information about a study finding as follows. Find the sentence, a recent study found once in their career. And after the period at the end of the sentence, insert a footnote with the following text, study by Modern Workforce website. So let's look for a recent study found. Okay, I'm going to come in here. Now, probably it's going to be pretty close to where we're at, but let's just go. There we have one. A recent study found that 99% of employees report they would like to work off-site at least once in their career. Well, I'd say that's true. Is that what we want? Okay, yeah, that's the one we want. And so we want to insert a footnote after. So whenever I'm taking a look at that, I'm going to come to the document. And I want to be really careful. That's why it's helpful to have the show paragraph marks on, because what I want to do is put this footnote after the period there at the end of the sentence. And we go to references. And they didn't really say to change the style or anything like that. So I'm just going to do insert footnote. They have the style already set at MLA, which is fine with me. Insert footnote. Then it jumps down. And for our footnote, we're going to type in study by the Modern Workforce and then website, like so. Now let's go back and look at our next instruction. Okay. Now, we want to draw and format a text box as follows to include a quotation about client attitudes towards remote work. Well, a lot of people like it. So now, let's see what we can do about meeting that instruction. So first of all, they want us to draw this text box to the right of the paragraph. Remote work is applying for jobs. Okay, so let's go and find that. Okay, remote work is, okay, it's this sentence right here. And so what we want to do is draw this to the right of this paragraph. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here, first of all. And then what I'm going to do is go to Insert. And then I can choose a text box, which is over here. So I'm going to click on that, and then it will allow me to say, do I want to draw a text box, which is what I want to do. And I'm going to kind of put it to the right of this paragraph. So we're going to work with it. We'll just get it going first. And what you'll see is that sometimes it moves the text over, sometimes it does not. But we're going to be formatting that in just different in a minute. So we're going to resize the text box to a height of 1.5. So again, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on it. And this, whenever I click on it, then you should see shape format in this bar that belongs to shapes in order to format them come up. And I'm going to do 1.5. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the width for it to be 2.2. So that's in our instructions. Then I want to position this text box using bottom right with square text wrapping. Because what we can see right now is that it's over top of our text. And so we are going to go to wrap text. And let's see if we have something like that there. If not, it'll be under position. And it's probably under position. Okay, that's probably where it's at. So let's find the one that says bottom right. Position, middle right, top right, top center, top left. It's been probably down here. Bottom left, bottom center, bottom right with square text wrapping. Okay, so I clicked on the box, and then I went to position, and then I see with text wrapping, and I'm going to choose position in bottom right with square text wrapping. Okay, now that looks better. And then we're going to copy and paste the paragraph in the support document into that new text box. So it's been a while. We haven't even looked at the support document yet, but it's sitting in my downloads folder. So I'm going to go to my downloads folder, and sure enough, there it is. And I'm going to double click on that to bring it up. And then we're going to select that, and then we're going to copy that, and then we're going to go back to our document, and then we're going to paste it. So I'm just going to right click and choose paste. You could also hit Control V. If it doesn't allow you to do a right click, you could even hit home and then you could choose paste. If you want to do it like that, that's fine. Okay. Now we want to apply the moderate effect lavender accent 1 shape style to the text box. So clicking on the text box again, make sure you hit shape format so you're able to see all these things we can do with the shape. And we want to go to shape style. So whenever I look at the shape styles, they're here. I'm going to click on the drop down list there, and I'm going to look for the one that says moderate effect lavender accent 1. Probably one of these. Maybe one of these. Or subtle. Okay. Probably getting closer. Moderate effect lavender accent 1. Okay, and of course that's coming from our instructions here. We made it this far. Now we want to apply this offset bottom shadow from the outer section in the shadow shape effects gallery. All right, let's go back here. And of course we're still working with the text box. In order to say you want to work with the text box, you basically click on it. Okay, and then make sure you're under shape format. Now what we're looking for is the shadow shape effects gallery. So I'm going to go to shape effects. Then I'm going to go to the shadow category. Then what I'm going to do is look for one that says offset bottom, and they all have their little names. So let's see if any of them say offset bottom. And there it is. It's the second one. Offset bottom shadow from the outer section. Okay, that's true. Outer section. And there we go. Okay, looks good. Now let's go back to our next instruction. So now we made it down to number 9. On page 3, format the picture of two people as follows to improve its appearance. Okay, flip the picture vertically so it appears with the correct orientation. Resize it to width of 5. Apply the compound frame black picture style. All right, let's go to page 3 in our document, see what we see there. Oh, I see. The people are upside down. So definitely want to flip this picture vertically. So what I'm going to do first of all is now I'm one that I haven't worked with, I think, before. So let's see if it's under corrections. No, it's not. So let's see what these are. Compress, change, reset. Oh, we don't want to do that. Let's look at position. Let's look at rotate. Oh, there it is. So they want us to flip the picture vertically. Okay, so flip vertical. So select the picture first of all, then go all the way over. Make sure you hit picture format and then look for this triangle with the arrow and then do flip vertical. Resize it to a width of 5. Okay, so we're going to hit 5 here and hit enter, and then that keeps it in proportion. Apply the compound frame black picture style. So here's our picture styles. They look like picture frames, and when we click on them, and again, you want to make sure you click on the picture first. Then what we want to do is find the one that says compound frame black. Well, let's just look at the ones that have some black around them first of all. And okay. Oh, there it is. Compound frame black. All right. Now let's go to our next instruction. So we got all this done. Create a bulleted list with 3 paragraphs beginning about 3.6% half of the time and ending with paragraph more than 80% work from home. So let's find those 3 paragraphs. Back to our document. Okay. So they're down here. About 3.6%, around 60%, more than 80%. We got these 3. And we want to grab up a bulleted list. So they basically just said make a bullet. So I'm just going to go with the standard, which is like that. Now we want to format the paragraph beginning the consulting firm and ending. Okay, so we're working with this paragraph now. And what I want to do with it is we're going to kind of make this purple light background of it. So first of all, I'm going to grab it up. And again, I'm getting these instructions from our instruction set. So we're at this point. Consulting firm ending more than 100. A lavender accent shading color, a font color to white background 1,